Yo, what's up? It's your boy OW, and I'm here to talk about what are the chances of being isekai'd into a new world. The first thing I did was looked at the latest 50 isekais and looked into each bio and each first episode to determine what was the reason or the death for the main character getting isekai'd in the first place. And that took me all the way from 2023 to animes all the way to 2021. And because of that, I didn't count any sequels that appeared. So, for example, Overlord Season 4 came out in 2022, but I did not count it because it originally came out, the first season I'm talking about, in 2015. So I was just more looking at the new original animes that had came out over that 3-year period, and that's how I got that these 50 animes and their cause of deaths. And now I'll show you all the reasons of those deaths and their titles. So the first thing is Carcoon. That is just being run over by a car. That only had one. Truck-kun got 3 deaths and got 3 people isekai'd. One was just by accident, they just got ran over, and the other 2 were like trying to save somebody and they took the fall and got isekai'd afterwards. From Game to Life, that's the title of this one. That was basically like they got basically like SAO type of thing or Overlord type of thing, where they couldn't leave the game after they entered anymore type of deal. That took 7 people, and there was like Unclear, which is the next category. Those took like 4 because some of these like anime creators didn't not give a fuck about giving an explanation. Like, they just got spawned into the new world and the main MC couldn't care less about his old world. He didn't question how he got there or anything. He just kept on moving on, which seems like a boring reason for isekai or whatever. And reincarnated by lottery, this took 5 people. This is basically out of nowhere, they got summoned by a goddess or something, and they got isekai'd, and they're like, oh, you won the lottery, and then they got isekai'd. That happened to 5 people out of the 50. People getting gunned down, that took 1 life, or getting shot to death. Falling off a cliff took 2 lives. Hit on head, or just had a head injury, took 1 life. Magically summoned or transported into a new world, that took place in 12 of the 50, so that was one of the big ones really. Next thing is Magic Door, where they could come in and out of that door. That happened once, so they could isekai into the new world and then just come back to the normal world. Sacrifice for religious reasons, that happened once. Struck by lightning was a really random one, but did take place in one of the isekais. Still alive in game, so this title is a little bit different. This one's talking about is isekai'd into the new world, but still is shown alive and could come back to the old world if they really wanted to. So that's why this one's a little different from Game to Life title, like I talked about earlier, because they're trapped in the from Game to Life category. But for this one, they're still able to go into the old world, so that's why I had to separate them two. Stab saving someone to death is 2. It took 2 people or 2 MCs and they got isekai'd. And reincarnated after death, so they didn't win by lottery, they just happened. This one's a little different from reincarnated by lottery, because in reincarnated by lottery you actually talk to somebody before you get isekai'd. Reincarnated after death is just you close your eyes after you die and you just open your eyes again and you're just reincarnated. There's no talking to anybody, you just go straight into the new world. This one, that's the difference. And that took 3 MCs. And Death from Stress took 3 MCs as well. Lastly, falling down some stairs, that took 1 MC. And those were the last 50 newest isekais and the reasons of the MCs, death and reincarnation. Now here's a pie chart for all of that. Now looking at this pie chart, we could see that 24% chance is the number one leading way to get isekai'd, and second place is being taken up by From Game to Life, where you're just trapped in the game that you're playing in, and then third place comes in Reincarnated by Chance. So based off these, you'd probably think those are your best chances. but they're not. And I came out with the percentage of what are the chances under each category. To make these percentage easier on me, I put all of these isekais occurring under the 1 year so that I could evenly give out a good percentage of how often this happens, and it's just less math on my end, really. But for magically summoned, with like, I put that under the category of missing people, and because like that's literally what happens to them. They go like a whole classroom just goes missing, I'm pretty sure, if they get isekai'd, right? So because of that, I searched it up, and I'm gonna have all my sources linked in the bio of like all the sources I used for each average amount of people missing, for example, which for that 600,000. And because of that, the chances are going to be so low, I didn't even want to like calculate it, because it wouldn't even make sense. Like 12 people, out of those 600,000 are going to get isekai'd. Like, it wouldn't make sense. Because of this, I got straight down to the real breadwinners when it came to trying to get isekai. Is the fourth place, because fifth place was such a big gap between fifth and fourth that it didn't even matter. Like, it's just such a big gap that the chances are basically zero, right? But there's not as much close to zero as fourth place, so I decided to still include fourth place, also because it's one of the most iconic and most favorite isekai ways to go, and that is Truck-kun. He made it to fourth place with either getting run over or being hit by a truck, and it involves a death that occurs 5,788 times in a year on average in the US, and because of that, we got the percentage of 0.05% of you being isekai due to that reason. So if you do get ran over by a truck, you got that 0.05% chance of getting isekai. Not really the way I would want to go, especially with such low chances, but we're gonna move on to the next one. And third place was stabbed saving someone, where we got a 0.1% chance. This occurred to 2 MCs, again for this example under your year. In the US, there's about 1,800 deaths involving to stabbing, and because of that, we do get that 0.1% chance of being isekai'd. Now we're gonna hit it into the full percentages, and that is gonna be going to second place with falling off a cliff. Falling off a cliff happened twice within those 50 animes, but it did occur well enough to get over that percentage, that whole percentage mark. In the US, it is said to be 76 on average, the amount of people that die for falling off a cliff. And because of that, we get that percentage of 2.6%, solid 2.6% chance of getting isekai'd after you fall off a cliff. What a way to go. Next thing, number one, the one that came in the very top spot, is struck by lightning. 28 people on average get killed by being struck by lightning in the US, and it only happened to one person out of those 50 animes. But because of that, we still got a 3.5% chance of being isekai'd after dying to a lightning strike. That shit is actually pretty crazy. But so if you're looking for a way to get isekai, if you're trying to put yourself out, you just gotta go to a hot place, take out a kite, and be like your boy Benjamin. Best of luck to you on that 3.5% chance. And that's basically all the research that I did, and those are all the results from all the info that was taken in. And yeah, that's basically it. Well, alrighty guys, this video took a bit of research too, but I'm kind of satisfied with the results. Well, anyways, have a good one and peace out.